So this is our shipment of bees from Steve Peterson, our second shipment. The first shipment we put in the greenhouse.
This is obviously an insulated package, and he put a frozen pack of ice, and then he put the container of the Osmia Megalarian, 210 cocoons, and they all look like in great shape. I have not observed any open cocoons.
Emergent.
Yeah, emerging cocoons. So we should be in good shape. But I wanted to come over and show you this. This one probably.
So this is one of the cocoons we just received from in our second batch, and Gene is opening it to attempt to see if the bee is alive, and he's cutting along the edge of the cocoon.
Now, when I began to do this last week, I didn't know what to expect. And much to my surprise, there was a very viable bee. And right now, you see, it's still a very viable bee, and she's alive. And what Steve Peterson told me was that you give her enough chance, she'll come flying right out and start flying around the room. So I want to be very careful.
So do you want to put that bee in the container, and then we'll put it in?
Oh no, let's add to your room's activity here in your dining room. No, of course, let's put it back in here. She seems to be okay. We like that. All right. Now let's open the second cocoon, and if our expectations are the same, and again, what we do is we start at the end where the nipple is, and very carefully use a sharp knife. And Steve also said that sometimes you can actually put the cocoon up to your ear, and you can kind of hear them buzzing around in there before you even open them up. And you can tell that way if the female bee is viable. And sure enough, there's a bee in there, and she is viable.
She's moving, yeah.
She's moving. So we have 2 active female bees. Now this one, she wants to get out. And we want her to get out. And but we're going to put her back in here for right now. She wants to fly. See that? She wants to fly around. Consistently smaller.
Yeah, these are 4 cocoons from what was in the greenhouse in the center tube, and they appear to be unemerged, so we're going to open those and see, one, if they're still viable, and if they're males, then we can pair them with the female that the 2 we just found.
And one notable thing, just for our study, is one of the things we're learning more this year than we did from our last study is you can clearly see the difference in size between the male and female. The male cocoon is smaller than the female. Why is this important? Because some of the data that is archived and recorded in the EcoBob documentation indicates there has to be a certain ratio of male to female cocoons for viable shipment and then release into an orchard area for successful pollination and mating. So that's another part of the equation that's important. And it's important even in a study like this that Jim and I are conducting in a much smaller environment. So let's take a look at the male. So we will very carefully open it up and see what we have here. And the male should have emerged because the males emerge sooner than the females. And let's see what we have here. Because it's smaller, it's a little harder to get to, but I'll do my best, because if there is a viable male in there, I don't want to injure it. There is a bee in here, but it doesn't look like it's alive. Now, here's the bee. And you can clearly see its wings. Can you get a shot of that, Jim? Can you see that?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it does not appear to be alive.
Right. This male did not emerge. It's a very large female cocoon.
No, and we might mention, go ahead. Go do
No,
the-
but
do
if
so.
you have a comment, Jim, please.
Yeah, no, I wanted to mention that when we talked to Steve a few days ago, he mentioned that perhaps the 90 degrees in the greenhouse, 90-degree plus temperatures, was too much for the cocoons. And if we open all 4 of these and find that they're all 4 not alive, then that might add a lot of evidence to that theory.
Good point.
So whereas the 2 that Gene just took out of the latest batch, which were not in the 90-degree temperatures, were both alive. So this, we'll check these, the remaining 3, and see what's going on.
Well, there is definitely a bee in here, but it doesn't appear to be viable. I mean, I almost have to dig it out. It's
And this is the bee we just got out. Again, does not appear to be.
yeah, this came out of a female cocoon, and you can see the difference between the male bee and the female bee. Quite a difference in size, which is to be expected.
Third bee we just dissected, same thing. There is a bee in there, but it's not alive.
Another
Right.
another female.
Right here on the left hand of the screen. Okay, we've just taken the 4th bee out, again on the left hand side of the screen, and it appears the same thing. The bee's not viable, so you can see there are 3 females and the smaller male. And apparently they were not viable, perhaps because of the temperature issue we just talked about earlier.